right, y'all. So this next one, I have a feeling it's like opening up a can of worms. I feel like this next one is opening up Pandora's box because I don't know what you think, and we might fight this one out like
All right.
verbally. You know what I mean? What's more
No,
important?
I'll hit you through the camera, fool. What you talking
Okay,
about verbally?
sure, I'll throw that mirror at you now. So, what's more important, the lineup or the fade? Meaning, okay, so here's some rules. Okay, just so that it's fair, a pushed back. So when I say a bad lineup, it's pushback and it's cricket. Okay. When I say bad fade, it's a bad fade in general. There's lines showing and it's too high. It's higher than you thought. So that way, that's what we mean by a bad haircut, a bad fade, and a bad lineup. Okay. And then a good fade and a good lineup, you know what that means. They know pushback, and it's exactly where you need it. It's nice and smooth. So if you could have a great lineup and a shitty fade, or a shitty lineup and a great fade, what would you prefer? Let's hear it.
A great fade with the shitty lineup.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew we were going to battle this one out. You would
Yeah.
be okay with getting pushed back and being crooked, meaning that you'd have to push yourself back even more. Now you ain't pushed back or crooked. So
Well, that's because I did it myself. But
exactly.
nah, but I've, like you said, over there in California, a lot of them don't even line up, period.
True.
But they got that good fade.
True.
So the good fade is obviously what everybody wants.
Okay.
Plus the lineups never last anyways.
True.
So your fade lasts longer than your lineup.
Okay.
So I would definitely say a good
I've never
fade.
heard it like that. You've actually the first person out of everyone who's talked about this that said it like that. The fade will last you longer than an edge up. Everyone talks about like what grows back faster, right? But the truth is the
shape. You know what? If you look at my IG today, I cut a vato that I cut all the time, but it's just been like, because you know how busy I've been and whatnot.
This is your IG from like a week ago?
No, from today. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, IG from a week ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, I haven't cut his hair in like almost 2 months.
Yeah.
It took me an hour and a half to cut it again, dog. Really? Like it lost its shape. It lost everything. So keeping the shape is the most important. I can line them up all day quick.
Yeah.
But bringing that shape back to life, that's hard to do. Like
that's
if
true.
you lose it, you have to redo it all over again.
That's true. Okay, so here's my perspective on that. Here you go. Do I even have it? Yeah. So here's my perspective on that. As somebody who cuts hair and can cut my own hair, I rather would have a good edge up and a mess up fade because I could fix that. I could fix that. The truth is I could fix fade. I can't fix a shitty lineup without pushing it back and making it worse. If I wanted a low fade and they gave me a mid, I'll make it a clean ass high fade. You know what I mean? I'll stretch it out and make it nice and smooth. But as somebody who doesn't cut hair, if I was just your everyday, go to the barbershop and, put my hands out to the barber and say, whatever you do is going to be me for a week or two. You know what I mean? If I was that person, I would go with what you're saying. I rather would have a good fade and not a great edge up. But again, if in my current situation, because I know how to cut my own hair and I know how to clean it, I know I can clean up my fade regardless. You know what I mean? And it grows back as well, right? So the grow back won't be as obvious with the lineup versus the fade, right? Like if I stretch it out and if I go from being a crappy low fade and I make it into a nice clean mid fade in 2, 3, 4, 5 days, I have a low fade already. You know what I mean? Again, once again, because it grew back down. Where an edge up in 3, 4, 5 days, I'm gonna have some nasty ass grow back that I either choose to push back again, or I just have to rock it for a week or two until that thing grows back out and looks good. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I know, but when you leave that barber, this one vato told me one time, he was like, man, haircuts ain't good until like the next day or 2 days later. Okay. I was like, you've never had a good haircut before. Because when you leave my chair,
yeah,
you're it's like a car's value. You know what I'm saying? Like as
Yeah.
soon as you leave my chair, your haircut is gonna be losing value. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. You start
'Cause
losing.
you
Instead
start
of
losing
gaining.
because it starts growing back. It's at its prime when you're in
That's
my
why we use
chair.
shavers.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say that a good fade, dog, a good fade, good shape, that silhouette. You know, when you get that silhouette shape, that
Mhm.
you really, oh man, I remember one time I cut this one dude's head, and he had like a flat head, like some, or
Yeah.
it even came inwards, in the back.
Bajijo.
Yeah, I know, like
Yeah.
he ain't never used a pillow in his life. He used to he probably sleeps on a triple, way, un pinche triple, like right at an angle.
Dang. Maybe he sleeps sitting down against the wall. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly, because it had that angle.
Yeah, the angle.
But he kept his hair long this time, and I made the silhouette continue there, so it looked almost rounded, and no, it looked squared in the
Did
back.
you
But
fake his hair shape? Did you fake his head shape, bro? Did you
yeah, I
make some
faked his head shape.
magic happen for him?
Yes,
Change
yes,
his life?
all clipper over comb, dog.
Nice.
I'm getting
There's
back
a,
into clipper over
there's a
comb,
lot
by the
of
way.
floating of the comb going on
Yeah,
right there.
I'm getting back into that. You
Nice.
remember how I got away
Yeah,
from it a little?
it's true.
It just takes too long.
Yeah,
Everything else takes too long. Going through
you're
all
right.
them guards and going
You're
on
right. You're right.
clip over comb. Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
I'm going back. I'll be
Yeah.
back.
Now,
2021.
here's the other question that I have for you within this segment. Do you feel like barbers out there are putting their workout, like they're showcasing their work through their lineups, like Instagram? Think about that, right? If you have a nice fade on Instagram, but you don't have a nice edge up, people don't look at that picture. I feel like it becomes, look at all the stuff that they do for edge ups. They have enhancements. You hit it with the razor to create an enhancement, you know what I mean, with the dry skin that comes up to it, so that like fake effect that just brushes off, just so y'all know, it brushes off right after. So they do the pencil, the white pencil, everything, right, just to create that pop in that image. And that's what makes a good Instagram post. Yes, the blend also has to be there, right? But if you don't have the all the glamour with the shape up and everything, it's almost like it loses its power on the Instagram stories and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Do you think that there's
Instagram, what do they call that? Algorithm?
the hype? So do you think that there's a lot of barbers out there who just know how to do a great edge up, don't know how to do a great fade, and they're getting by saying that they're great barbers because they could do a good edge up? You think that's a thing?
No, I don't. I think
Okay.
edge up is something you learn after you learn how to cut hair.
But again, I'm seeing some not so great fades out there. And I'm just saying, I'm not going to point fingers.
Say so.
No,
Well,
because I don't pay
I want to
attention.
know.
It's when I'm scrolling down through the people I don't know, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
People
And
you don't know.
yeah, exactly. So I scroll down, I'm seeing like, dude, what, like this ain't that great of a haircut, but that edge up is clean.
Fire.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Super clean, super enhanced, properly enhanced. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think. I don't, because
Probably photoshopped.
I don't care about calling people out and all that. You know what I mean? Like if I could truly think of one right now, I would say it. But I really don't know of anybody who focuses more on the lineup with the shitty haircut.
But I could say that I see them. I still see them. You know what I mean? And I think that this new generation of barbers is really going after that. Like, here's the deal: is think about all these kids who are becoming barbers right now. Like, if you have a great fade and you're pushing it out, they don't care. Like, if it doesn't look great with a nice shape up, like it doesn't have that glamour. It doesn't have that IG algorithm to it. I feel like you could be a great barber and not put a super sharp edge up on someone, and it loses value to people.
What?
Yeah, not to me. Not to me.
Oh, I was gonna say what?
No, and not to you, and not to most people, but new generation of barbers.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
it's the same thing. It's the same thing as condensed fades. They're in right now, right? They're trending. So people who do a great job stretching a fade, best example, Tank, right? For these new barbers, they look at that and they're like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to learn how to do a condensed fade.
For real?
Oh, dude, yes. You know how many kids right now are looking at people who are like trendy because of that
I
type of fade?
the
I'm just
homie
like,
Ivy Mac has his pulse on the population.
I
I'll give him
do.
that. He
I
knows
do.
what people like.
I be trying.
I know what I like,
Yeah.
and I just that's why all my YouTube videos look the same.
No, and I don't
And they
do it.
long.
I don't do it to try to give that particular crowd what they're looking for. It's just I see my comment section. I see other comment sections. You know what I mean? I see what videos become really popular, what videos don't. I see who's really trending versus who's not. And there's always a story being told. There's always a theme. And the themes right now are the edge ups and the condensed fades. To me, that's what I'm seeing.
And you know who does a good fade? Oh, we talked about him before, but that Chuka the barber.
No, but I think he's perfectly balanced. My man is like, he knows. I still think that someone who can get you right in the middle between a really condensed fade and a really stretch blend, or knows when to stretch a blend because of the head shape compared to like when to condense it, I think that that's gold. If you know how to do that, which barbers like Chuka the barber know how to do that, like that's next level. That's elite barbers. You know what I mean? Versus someone who can only do one or the other. And sometimes because like clientele, right? Like best example, we were talking about Tank, because his clientele is very similar in the texture of hair and the haircuts and it's Texas. You know what I mean? Like
Puros pinches mexicanos, el
yeah,
güey.
like here's the deal: is a stretch blend looks good on that hair texture. You know what I mean? On those head shapes,
Right, right, right.
it looks clean. It looks beautiful. But then I see all these other kids who are doing a stretch blend on someone who don't need a stretch blend. You know what I'm like, bro? That's not the type of person you. Or maybe that's what I hope they asked you for it, because if not, you should have done something different, maybe condensed it, or the complete opposite. Someone who only does condensed blends. They don't know anything else but that. And I'm like, bro, that looks hilarious on that person. It looks like he's wearing a wig, bro. His hair is way too
Yeah,
thick for that. You know what I mean? And
right.
they keep doing it because that's all they know. They keep doing it, or that's because they think it's trendy. You know what I
Hey,
mean? So they keep doing it.
hey, I did it. I didn't know it was trendy, but you know how I did start getting into the
Yeah.
condensed blends or
But you don't overdo it. I don't think you overdo it. I think people out there overdo it.
compressed fades. But all the people that I give compressed fades to, now they all want me to go back to the stretch blends, huh?
Do you think it's because the haircut don't last as much, or do you think it's because from afar a condensed blend looks a little dark? If we're being honest, because if you look at a condensed blend from close, is beautiful. Like you can't get nicer than that type of haircut. That's why it's trendy, right? We're looking at a camera, on a picture, on Instagram, on a YouTube
Right,
video.
right.
But you see somebody with a condensed blade on the street, like that vato from afar, you're like, damn, that vato has some messed
Chili
up
bowl,
haircut. You got a chili
bowl, you
bowl.
know?
From
Yeah,
afar, it looks
someone.
like he got a fat line on his head. You know what I mean? So it's, maybe they got somebody who told them, man, your haircut is bad. And then they got close, like, never mind. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't want to have that experience. But let's go ahead and end it here, unless you have anything else to add to this question of the lineup versus the fade. Of course, you're going to pick fade. It's in your name. What am I talking about?
I know, right?
What was I
My
thinking?
name is Lineups by Morales.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Ooh,
This is
that's
a
actually
one end street that I got myself into. I should have seen it coming. Yeah, but I want to know what y'all think. Again, the rules are shitty blend means it's pushed up higher than you wanted it to, and it's obviously got lines all over the place. Shitty lineup is that it's pushed up and it's crooked. So it means you're gonna have to push it up again if you try to fix it. What's worse out of the two? Which one would you prefer out of the two if you could have, and I already gave the whole details. I'm not gonna get myself confused again. But I want to know in the comment section what y'all think about that one. All right, cool.